you.
It gives me great pleasure to announce or to present to all of you our Grand Madam President, Gwen Stallkamp from Albert, Minnesota.
Thank you. Whoa, thank you very much. Do I? Yeah. I wonder if I should talk. Maybe. Should I try? Maybe I'll try without. How's that?
You betcha.
Can everybody hear me?
You betcha.
Okay, good. I will give this back to you then, Greg.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to thank all of you for having me here tonight. I certainly am enjoying my time in California. It's been wonderful. Barb and I have been traveling around all over. And I remember my time before, thanks to Kay and Bob, here in San Jose. I do. It was wonderful. I've been here several times before. And your hospitality has always been just great. It's been wonderful. I gave some of you this pin tonight, and on it I do have my theme, and as you can tell, as you all know, I am a cat lover. That's why it says perfect harmony. And underneath that, actually when I go out, I promote Aries and auxiliaries working together. That means brothers and brothers working together, sisters and sisters, brothers and sisters working together. Remember, FOE does not stand for fight over everything. Right? Sometimes you wonder, don't you? You really do. Underneath my theme, I have 3 words that I have chosen. Those words are preserve, protect, and promote. The past, the present, and the future. What do we have to preserve, my brothers and sisters? How about our beautiful history nationally, our involvement in establishing Mother's Day, in helping establish Social Security, and each and every one of your Aries and auxiliaries is establishing your own unique history, aren't you? You are. How about our lovely ritual?
Yes.
And I saw the ritual conveyed the other night at Chico, and it was beautiful. They did initiation that night. So I guess I really feel that ritual is alive and hopefully growing here in California. I do hope so. We do need to preserve that. Then protect. What do we need to protect? We need to protect each other, and particularly our new brothers and sisters, from the things that can destroy a beautiful fraternal organization such as ours. These things are jealousy, anger, bitterness, yes, all the things that we don't want that lead to our destruction. We need to protect each other from that. My goodness, when you walk into an area, or that, whether it's a social room or your meeting room, and you see, you can sense that, a new member can sense that a mile off. They can. And when you sit in your little cliques, don't welcome a new member, they can sense that. You think they're going to come back? I don't think so. No, they aren't. Protect your members from that. Third, promote. Every area, every auxiliary should have a good promotional program, a good publicity program. We, at the Grand has developed a pamphlet, Get Your Word Out. Everybody, every secretary here should have a copy of this, and this should go to all your officers. All your officers should have this pamphlet. See me afterwards if you do not have this. Order it, it's free. All it costs is a postage to get it. To promote membership in the Fraternal Order of Eagles, How about the Memorial Foundation? Does everybody in this room know about the Memorial Foundation? Okay. Robert, I know you do. Does everybody else in here? I hope so. I hope so. We have a new pamphlet out on that also. And you know, this still is the best sell that we have on being a member of the Fraternal Order of Eagles. What a wonderful, reasonable life insurance policy this is. And my goodness, if you are a grandparent, and say you have a son or daughter, because of the way the economy is, they have not been able, maybe, to pay their membership, pay it for them. What a nice Christmas gift. What a nice birthday gift. Look at the protection you're buying for those grandkids. Helping pay the tuition for their college for 4 years, 5 years even. Medical, dental. Where are you going to get a life insurance policy that cheap? This is the thing that you have to promote for membership. You should be having a supply of these at your area and auxiliary, and each of you should be carrying this with you. You should have it with you. You should be giving it to your new members as they're initiated and as to your new prospective members. That publicity program is extremely, extremely important. Then we have, of course, the promotional program that was started several years ago, the free year's membership for police, firefighters, EMTs, and now it's been expanded to discharged veterans, honorably discharged veterans. That was started a year ago. You know about that? You need to be promoting that. You do. I'm going to tell you a little story about publicity and promotion. I come from my area in auxiliary, and Albert Lee, Minnesota has approximately 1,400 area members and about 700 auxiliary members. So we are a good size. The town is about 18,000 population. There is no doubt we are an airy town. We are a club town. We have a large and active moose club, and we did have the largest elks club in the state of Minnesota too. Very few street bars. So the social part of the community really is based in those clubs. So we are very fortunate for that. But we have the same problems that many of you do as far as getting members to come to meetings, for example. We didn't have problems getting officers up until about 5 years ago, and all of a sudden then we were starting to recycle some. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's happening. It's happening all over. Every place I travel. Well, anyway, we had a young area member that he was really good in public relations and doing a lot of things out in the community. And he came in as a guard, and he was so good at that they, of course, made him membership chairman as soon as possible. I think he was in there a year. They made him membership chairman. And what he did is he approached the area, and he came and on the floor and the area trustees, and he said, you know, let's have an open house for the public. And he said, let's do a year's free membership. And of course everybody's mouth dropped because of course the area was going to have to front some money here to pay for those memberships if we were going to do this. Smart man, he went to the auxiliary. And he said, auxiliary, will you go in with us? And we'll do this as a joint project. And the auxiliary said, yeah, we will. We're interested in doing this. So on the coldest day in February, we didn't have a snowstorm, but it was below zero, they had this open house. And this is not a new concept. It is not, but it was a different concept for us because we had never had it. And he put a couple stipulations on it. First of all, he wanted the commitment from all the officers. They all had to be there. And if they weren't going to be there, area and auxiliary, they had to have a past president there in their place. Well, as it turned out, they were all there except two, and those two had past presidents there in their place. Then the second stipulation that he made to have all those officers committed is he said, you that day will spend those 2 hours on your feet. You will be walking around the room, visiting with people. You will not sit in little cliques around the room. Sound familiar? Yes. So they did. They went along with his suggestions. He did a bang-up job on the radio, with the newspaper, made sure that the community knew what the Eagles was all about. All the officers were there with all the materials that they needed, written materials, and that. By the end of those 2 hours, the area had over 100 new members, and the auxiliary had over 50 new members. And actually, we retained those members. Once they got that membership, and they came down to the club and used it, they came back. The next year, they bought their membership. Now what we've done this, as a matter of fact, we just had one two weeks ago. And this time it was not free membership for everybody, but it was half price. And this is for only brand new Eagles members. They never had been members before. But this year it was over 70 new area members, and we got over 40 new auxiliary members. And this shocks me because it's continuing to work. It is an old concept, but just tried in a little different way, and actually had the commitment of all the officers. And it was a joint effort. It was perfect harmony. It was the area and the auxiliary working together. That's what it's all about. Now I want to talk to you just a minute about my charity. This year is the Diabetes Research Center, and you all know about that, I'm sure. Right? Right. You've heard a lot about it, right? And actually, you know Daryl Rull is making his wonderful run, right?
Right.
And we certainly wish him all the success in the world. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. What we have done, and I want to thank all of you for your commitment and all the things that you have done and your donations to the Diabetes Research Center. But it's just like the 5 work days of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We have committed $25 million, right? We already have done Monday, we've already done Tuesday, and we already have surpassed Hump Day, Wednesday. We only have Thursday and Friday to go, folks. And we are going to make it, right?
Yes.
We are, absolutely. Secondly, I have for my special project, and usually your Grand Madam President has a special project that emanates from her own state or is based in her own state. I am no exception to this. I have the Jacob Wetterling Foundation. That is based on a famous Minnesota case of a boy that was abducted and never was found. He was 11 years old. His mother became a state legislator. Father was a dentist. They started this foundation, and what they do is they go into the schools and nonprofit organizations, and they teach parents and children what they need to do to keep children safe. That mother and father want to make sure that another mother and father never had to go through this again. And And we certainly know that mothers and fathers go through this all the time. I had this as my charity when I was a state president back in 2000. I was so impressed with the foundation, the work that they do, and that's all volunteer, that I decided if I ever became Grand Madam President, I was going to have this as my special project. Jacob now would be in his early 30s. Now he was 11 years old, and I actually had 2 boys at that time. And they were young, and I so empathized with these parents because I just could not imagine having a child taken and never have any closure. How terrible this would be. And it happens all the time. As a matter of fact, now what they are doing, they have gotten involved in going into neighborhoods. And you know, when the level 3 sex offenders are released from prison into neighborhoods, that's what's happening all over the nation. It's happening out here too. They are going into those neighborhoods upon request, again, educating parents and children what they need to do to keep their children safe. And they go into the schools, they're educating from kindergarten up to seniors in high school. And you may wonder, what in the heck do you teach a junior and senior in high school? They got all the answers, right? What they do is they zero in on the internet. Because you can't keep your kids off the internet. You cannot. And the number of pedophiles on the internet, that is why they're doing that. You got to educate those kids. You simply have to. I have with me, at Grand, we are selling their dog tags. You may as well call them kitty tags because it's the black cat on there. Those are, see, every year the Grand area has had a dog tag and they've sold them for $20. Well, Mel and I decided to have a joint one. So his theme is on one side, and there, you stand up and show us. Cindy's got one on. And I have those with me tonight, and I'm selling them for $10. And my theme, the perfect harmony, is on one side, and Mel's theme is to be great, you must communicate. So our themes are very close to the same thing. And his project, well, his charity is the Diabetes Fund. And the Diabetes Fund, through the Grand, is the one where you get your grants back that come back into your state that fund your dialysis units, your hospitals, those type of things. So we both are working for the same thing. We're working for the cure for diabetes. And then I have little pewter cat pins. Does anybody have theirs? Oh, yes. Kay has hers right on her bowl. Walk around, Kay. Show them.
Glad to.
Yes. And those they're like little tacks. So you guys, they make nice little tie tacks too, or little collar pins. Those are $5. I have those with, too. Yes, yeah. So I have brought both of those with. So I want to thank you so very much for your time and for listening to me. And thank you for all your wonderful hospitality. It's been great. The room is beautiful. Everything. So wasn't that meal great? Yes. It was. And I'm a salad lover. I am. Wonderful. And you spent a lot of time on hors d'oeuvres. They were wonderful. And again, I want to thank you so very much. And greetings from Minnesota.
You betcha.